Hi everyone, this is Tamika Caston Miller of Ashé Yoga and the Ranch Houston. Many of us have known each other for a long time. Some of us have even practiced together for, a decade? But many of you came to know me through teaching yoga at Yoga One and then Yoga Works. And I'm just so grateful for all that we have learned together, created together, and all of the wonderful ways that we have grown to support one another through the years. As many of you know, I have begun what is called the Ranch Houston, and recently we were featured in the Houston Chronicle, and we're so excited about having our efforts highlighted in the Chronicle in such a time in which things have been really difficult. You know, we really took an opportunity just to step into what was possible. And I think that we wouldn't have gotten to that question if we wouldn't have done the work of examining those questions over the years through the yoga practice. Many of you know that in the time that I've been in the yoga community here in Houston, I've gone from being able-bodied to being disabled and then able-bodied again through having surgical intervention. And the same has happened with Lenny. I don't know if many of you know, but Lenny actually was in a wheelchair 13 years ago and is today scaling Machu Picchu with me, so like for both of us, we've had a lot of change, and we've seen what the power of yoga can be when you actually merge the asana practice with the meditation practices. I'm really excited about what we're going to be creating in 2021. Considering what all we've been able to do with all of the challenges of 2020, what has happened is we've gotten really clear as to what our vision is for next year. And that vision includes bringing more yoga, asana, meditation, and education to not only the Houston community, but beyond. Currently, our reach is way beyond Houston with students and clientele all over the world. And I'm really interested in continuing to really create this compassion movement within the yoga community that is leading from a perspective of connecting ancient philosophy with modern day contexts and challenges. In order to move into the future, we actually need some things, and it's not my natural inclination to ask for help. So this is a big deal. Many of you are curious about and have inquired about how you could be a part of our growth and what you could do to help be a part of what we're doing here. And some of you are doing that just by showing up for events, classes, and workshops. And I really, really appreciate that. We would not be where we are if you weren't actually coming. If you would like to do something beyond show up, or if you can't show up and you'd like to help us do things in a better way, in a more effective way, there are some things that we actually need, and we'd love to ask you to step into co-creation with us. So, on the list of things we need, of course, we always need money, but I'm not here to ask you for your money. Actually, what we really need is we need to get our nonprofit status. So the Ranch Houston is actually trying to be a nonprofit, or will be a nonprofit that encompasses other businesses. So it encompasses a for-profit business, which is Ashé Yoga and Wellness, and which is the yoga and wellness arm of the business. And then there is also the Mill HTX, which is the art gallery and educational space and studio for Lenny Caston Miller. We also have the Garden Project, which is being relaunched as the Creole Garden. This is a nonprofit that is meant to operate in two different ways. One is to operate in a capacity to provide additional services when you're here. So to provide grounding and atmosphere for you're here for yoga or meditation, but also to be where we do horticultural therapy. And so the garden project is really important to be able to offer horticultural therapy here in Houston, which is actually not available anywhere else in the city. Also, however, we have the Garden Educational Project, which is my pet project as a state licensed educator.
Oh, my God. What you got? Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's so pretty.
I am thrilled to bring students to this space, which is we are actually operating in a food desert so that kids can come from all over the city and can come and do their field trips here, can learn about plant to table eating, plant strong eating, can learn about sustainable living, sustainable growing practices, can actually understand how practices were done in our indigenous communities, considering that we are located on the land of the Akokisa tribe. We do want to actually reflect back those indigenous practices as well as the African cultures that informed how we eat, what we eat, and how we grow and what we till in this area, in this part of the country. So my goal is to show kids that they can put a seed in the ground and then they can take out a vegetable. It's just mind-blowing when you see your plant growing. But it also teaches kids when the plant doesn't grow, when the seed doesn't germinate, when the plant has germinated or the seed is germinated but then it doesn't thrive, that no matter that we can do all the things, but it doesn't mean that we're going to have the result that we choose or the result that we hope for. And that's also a really important lesson in seeding grit and seeding resiliency. So we need our nonprofit status in order to be able to get grants, in order to be able to get helpers, because we cannot actually get, for example, scout troops to come volunteer here because we are not a nonprofit. So if you know how to do that paperwork and would like to donate your time, or someone who does, that would be extremely helpful, because that will open the portal to other needs that we need. Other things that we need are volunteers. So we currently have volunteers that come out to help us with the planting and weeding and things like that. We need more volunteers. Now we will get more volunteers once we are officially a nonprofit, but until then we need volunteers to come out on Sundays, Thursdays, and or Fridays to help till our fields. So if you want to do that, we need that as well. We need construction materials. We're trying to build off-grid, if possible, for the businesses or for the buildings that the infrastructure that we'll be putting in to the Ranch Houston, which again includes Ashé Yoga and Wellness, our Yoga Shala, the Garden Project, and the Mill HTX. We would love to have those things be solar powered or solar operated. We will be rain harvesting, anything like that that actually gives us those materials would be helpful, or any connections that you have in that regard. Unfortunately, when you're actually seeking information about solar, you get a lot of junk calls, and so I've been getting that and not actual help. So if you know any grants or anything like that for solar, then that would be helpful. And speaking of grants, we also do need a grant writer. If we are on the grid, or if we are operating in a way that does still require power that is not solar, then we need a generator. We need heaters. So any old patio heaters that you have, that could be donated, we need that. And with that, we also need propane tanks. Our big, large goals include farm equipment like tractors and either a golf cart or something similar. Apparently, there is this style of like half tractor, half golf cart, because we are ADA friendly here. We both experience life needing ADA accommodations, and we want to always provide those to people. So a golf cart or some sort of farm transport would be very helpful. And we are completely open to thinking outside of the box in that regard. We need a greenhouse. We will be a nursery as of December. And so we do need a greenhouse in order to make that happen. We need a bathroom and bathrooms. Even though bathrooms are part of our design when our buildings are built, having a bathroom now costs us a couple of $100s a month to rent a porta-john that has been, we've outfitted it and we've made it beautiful. We essentially have our little outdoor, our little outhouse, and it has worked really well, and it's expensive to continue renting a porta-john. So we would love an actual outdoor bathroom that is fully functioning, and we'll take one that we can continue to outfit. So any type of outdoor bathroom, even a porta-john, but one that could be outfitted with a compostable toilet or something like that would be helpful. Other big ticket items that we need are, we need another septic system. We need a new well drilled because we will be building out businesses out in the back of the property, and there are no city utilities over here, so we'll need those as well. Because we are really trying to do things off-grid, we really want to do rain harvesting and utilize the rain harvesting in order to water all of the plants that we have whenever we don't have rain. Rainwater is the best water for our entire urban farm, and so receptacles to do that would be helpful. We do have these brilliant ideas that we'll be implementing in the future, but until we have all of the monies that we need, right now we are willing to do the work to physically water the garden. So also that leads me to irrigation. We have a somewhat functioning irrigation system right now, and once we changed what our beds looked like, our irrigation system didn't serve us well anymore. So any type of irrigation services that could be donated would be wonderful. We are moving towards being able to house people whenever they come to stay. We have clients and friends and supporters who are local but live as far north as Magnolia, and when they come in for trainings, it actually is a really big drive. It can be 2 hours for them to come in, and so we would love to be able to house them. We have our thoughts around how we're going to do that, and we have what we're moving into. And so if you would like to become a donor for the residences that will be available, then that is something I would love to talk to you about, what that will eventually look like. We are considering aquaponics for utilizing the rainwater collection and being able to feed our gardens. We're not 100% sure if aquaponics is the solution for us, but that is something that we're interested in. So if you know someone who consults in that regard and is willing to donate their time, if we were to move into that area, donate their time or materials, we would be interested in knowing about that as well. We are definitely moving into phase 2, which is building our structures. And one of those structures is going to be, for one of the businesses, for the mill, is going to be a pole barn. So there are pole barns around that are available and that are free, and they cost a lot of money to move. So if you know anything, if you so happen to have a pole barn, or if you have a method of moving one that you would like to donate, that would be a fantastic donation as well. Because art is such an important part of what we do here at the Ranch Houston, it is important for us to outfit our artist structures, and that means that we need wheels, pottery wheels. If you know of any pottery wheels that are available, or you'd like to donate one or four, we'd be very interested in that as well. When you throw pottery, you need a kiln. An electric kiln would be very helpful as well, and a gas-fired kiln would help us even more, because currently we do not have electric in the back of the property. Pottery requires clay, so anything regarding any type of clay tools would also be helpful. Metal is helpful as well, considering that Lenny is an Army trained welder, go Army. And so all of the metal that we use, we repurpose and we use in different ways. So that would also be helpful. Any other winterizing tools would be helpful as well, or tools or shades or sails would also be received with open arms. In sum, we do need a lot of things coming up, and we are 100% willing to work for them and to attain them in whatever way that needs to happen. And I do also know that closed mouths don't get fed. So if you can support us in any of those ways by either donating your time, talent, or materials in what we're actually needing to continue our growth, we would love that. Otherwise, just keep showing up, because your presence is a reminder to me that what we're doing actually matters. I appreciate you considering donating your time or talent or funds to the Ranch Houston and to Ashé Yoga as we move into the giving season. And my hope is that we will be able to create our nonprofit status soon, so that we can actually make any donations that you give us a donation to a nonprofit, so that you can also use that in whatever way that works for you. Until then, I will tell you that we do have an event that will be coming up in February that is going to be a really large fundraiser, and it is going to be the biggest fundraiser that we do. It's going to be quite expensive, and it is also going to be really important to be successful. So if you have anything around fundraising, any type of talent, or anything that you could donate to that fundraiser, that would also be very, very helpful. I am setting a goal to raise $100,000 just through that fundraiser. And before, that goal was smaller, and I thought, why go small? I don't know if we'll hit the goal or if we'll come close to it, but I know that we won't get there if we do not actually plan for it. So if you can think about anything that you can donate, any vacation rentals or properties, houseboats, sailing events, anything that you could donate, so that we can raise funds. And then also consider all of the people who you would invite to that fundraiser. That would be helpful as well. And we'll be doing that fundraiser in a very COVID-friendly way. More details are coming out around that, but we do want to give people an opportunity to dress up and come see what we're doing at the ranch, and actually be a part of a really high-end event that is, as always, designed with social distancing in mind and 100% outdoors, so that we do not have we are not continuing to perpetuate the problems that are plaguing our city and our country with the pandemic. But also we do understand that we're operating in a 2020 paradigm, and that means giving people another opportunity to participate, which is online. So that will be happening as well. So just know that that information is coming. If there's something that you can donate to be auctioned off, that is an incredible helper to us. And that way, if for any reason we are unable to throw our in-person fundraiser, we are still able to do the online fundraiser and auction. So anything that you're willing to donate, please let us know. Thank you again for being a part of this community. Thank you for always just being so loving and sending your warm thoughts and your congratulations and things like that. It really makes me know that what I'm doing matters, and that is really important for me because yeah, I don't necessarily get to see it all the time. So thank you so much. Thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for all that you're being during this time of challenge. And thank you for your support always. You take care of yourselves. Happy holidays. Much love.